Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me live in the Xfinity mobile studio, it is Mr. Flyperbole, Steve Jaco. What's going on, Steve?
What's going on, Bill? I mean, we got a rainy Saturday here and hopefully not a equally depressing effort for the Flyers tonight because we got some rough sledding ahead of us in this matchup against Tampa Bay.
You know, that Toronto game was just incredibly frustrating because you knew what was going to happen. And I can't even, like, they were working hard. They couldn't get much going, but they're up 1-0. And it really came down to the thing I went off about just a couple of days ago on the 4 o'clock show with Charlie. 1-goal games, the power play. If they could just ever extend a lead with their power play, they could challenge for the division. Instead, not only don't they score for the second consecutive game on a 5-on-3, not only don't they figure out a way to put away the Leafs, or at least salt away those couple of minutes where they were on the power play in the third period, second half of the third period, they give up a shorthanded game-tying goal to Scott Laughton. It's truly unbelievable how inept this power play is. They are 31st in the league, and I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe they're not last.
And they look as bad as they did last year. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, for a little bit, we looked like, hey, all right, maybe we're free and clear. They've changed the coaches. Maybe we're better. But no, it looks like the same old crap. And, like, I don't know if they need to completely reteach these guys how to do it or what, but it's unbelievable how inept that a good hockey team. That's the thing. The Flyers are a good hockey team. How inept they look with an extra person.
Yeah. No, they're last I checked, which was like Monday or Tuesday, whenever we did the big power play show. Maybe it was Thursday. Anyway, regardless, whenever we did like 30 minutes on the power play, I looked it up. They are 14th in the league, solidly top half of the league in goals per 60 at 5-on-5. They are 31st on the power play. How? Like, how do you score more when the other team has more guys on the ice? It just blows my mind. But I think there's a couple of ways they can address this. My big idea is go get Dougie Hamilton. That's not going to happen. But they do very badly need a power play point man. That is for certain. There's a couple of things that are holding this team back from taking another step. Obviously, they need to find a center. That's really tough to do. And honestly, they're pretty good with what they have right now in terms of personnel, at least at forward. They need another backup goalie. Sam Ersson starting today. We'll talk about the lineup in a minute. But at least once they make the playoffs, if they do, like, backup goalie is no longer a concern. Like, it's Dan Vladar, and you sink or swim with your guy. Getting there, you know, Ersson makes it more difficult, but it's a problem that you can overcome because it's not a problem down the line. The power play is a problem in terms of getting there, and then once you're there, like, this is, to me, the biggest need is fixing this power play. I know Bruce Boudreau has said he'd only be an assistant for the Leafs, but maybe you bring him in. I said executive producer is the power play. He doesn't have to be here every day. He doesn't have to show up on game days, but he's a consultant. He comes in for a few practices a month. He comes in once a week, whatever it is, and instills in this team whatever it is he's able to instill in other power plays. Now, you know, we don't have like Getzlaf or Perry. We don't have Ovi, so that makes it a little more difficult. But my God, it's so inept that they have to do something.
Well, and the crazy thing is it's a team with not a ton of good offensive talent, but a lot of good offensive talent. I mean, you've got Zegras, who's having a career year. You've got Michkov, who we saw last year what he's capable of, especially on the power play. You've got Konechny. You've got Tippett. You've got, it was better with Forrester in there. Forrester is definitely a big loss for this power play, and they've been feeling it. I mean, the shot alone, but also that big body. They don't have enough big bodies. I feel like Porter Martone's going to help a lot with that when he comes up, hopefully next year. But, like, as far as this year goes, I think a center would go a long way because their centers are so defensive minded. Like Noah Cage, Sean Couturier, Christian Dvorak. These are mostly defensive minded guys. If Zegras could do more of like a middle role, but you don't want him doing that because you want Zegras dishing the puck out. You want him utilizing that passing that he's so good at. I'm wondering, there was a name we were floating around the other day in the BSH Slack, and this might cost a little bit to get him, but Robert Thomas over with the Blues might be available. He was on the Athletics trade board the other day, and he's really good. He's had some good success. He's stuck on a horrible team right now. That seems like a good fit right there if they could make that work.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know how interested St. Louis is in actually like blowing it up, but if they were, that's like a must do. That is a, hey, what's it going to cost sort of move because it's their number one need. But to me right now, power play point man is for the immediate time. Like they
it's
need to get a center.
They don't have a point man given all of the offensive talent they have on defense. Cam York, Jamie Drysdale, Travis Sanheim, these guys Emil Andre. These are guys that came in with reputations for being offensively minded defensemen, and none of them can do it. I don't get it. Risto might be the best point man they have on the power play, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. And he hasn't been like effective on the power play since Jack Eichel was dishing him one-timers, Look,
that helps a little bit.
Made it look easy. All right, let's get to today's game and today's actual lineup here on PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. We'll start in net. It'll be Sam Ersson. 6-5-4 with a 309 goals against and an 868 save percentage. Today will be his 16th start. 4 of his 6 wins this season have come via the shootout. 8 of 15 starts have gone to at least overtime, if not the shootout. This is only his second start in 7 games since the Christmas break. He last started on New Year's Eve at Calgary. Gave up 5 goals on 26 shots to one of the worst offenses in the league. A sub-900 save percentage in 11 of 15 starts. Has allowed 3 or more in 11 of 15 as well. I guess
that side was amazing.
You keep throwing him out there for the rest of this season and see if he can turn it around or something. But, like, at a certain point, he has to be judged on his results. And, like, he's horrendous.
I mean, the sub-900 save percentage isn't doing it for you, Bill?
It's like sub-900, sub-870. Like, he's not... This would be bad in 1985. Like, this would be horrendous in 1985.
It's true. And it is so frustrating because he is a guy with talent and you can see it. But, like, in the past, you could make the excuse, right, that the defense isn't that good, that the team's not that good. Dan Vladar is a direct contrast to that. Dan Vladar's success tells us that Sam Ersson is not as great as we want him to be. He might not be better than the numbers ultimately. And I know that's going to help. That's really going to hurt all the Ersson Pearsons out there, a few of whom we met in the Sweet Takeover the other night, and great guys, but like, I'm not a believer at this point. And the thing is, like, you've got Kolosov knocking on the door, right? I want to see what he can do. I know he's been up and down with Lehigh Valley, but listen, it's poop or get off the pot, right? At some point, we got to see if this guy can be an NHL player. You also might have some vets available, but like, if you're a team that's serious about making the playoffs for the next few years, you have to do something about this because these numbers are garbage.
Like, you just see, he's started 15 games. You've won 6. Like, that is, in the Eastern Conference, it's going to come down to a couple of points, a tiebreaker, whatever. It's going to be a couple of his games where you go, And that's why, like, backup goalie in the power play, just a few points here or there are what is going to determine it. And the reason I'm, like, so adamant about this right now, Steve, is look at the Eastern Conference. The 2 seed in the Metropolitan Division, very much in play. If you scored a little bit on the power play, you might be able to challenge for the division, in which case, if you're the 1 or the 2 seed in the Metro, the road to the Eastern Conference final isn't crazy. Like, yeah, you might have to, like, pull an upset or something, but it's not a, like, oh, yeah, we're going up against the Colorado Avalanche kind of upset. Like, that's not what we're talking about here. We're just saying crazy stuff happens in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you could be that team. Can they win the Cup? Not unless something insane happens and they make 3 major additions at the blue line, right? They can't. But it's been so long since we've been on a playoff run.
So long.
Getting lucky into the third round would be A-okay with me.
Well, if you even look back at the 2010 Flyers, the last team to go on a significant run, that was a team that you could argue got lucky in the playoffs because Montreal ends up upsetting
took
Pittsburgh.
Care of business.
Right. Montreal took care of business. Then we have to play Montreal in the Eastern Conference Final instead of Pittsburgh.
And they're gassed.
They're gassed. It was great. It was fantastic. That was the series. But then the Flyers were, of course, the gas team against the Chicago Blackhawks. But the less said about that, the better. But yeah, the thing is, like, you just got to get in. You never know what's going to happen. Get in. Let's have some dang fun. But the difference between missing the playoffs and making the playoffs in the East right now is not insignificant. Like you really are looking. I'm looking at the wild card standings right now. Okay. So the Flyers currently sitting 52 points, third in the Metro. But like, if you miss the playoffs right now, Buffalo's missing the playoffs, 50 points in 42 games. So what is that? A 2-point difference between missing the playoffs or being third in the division. They could leapfrog the Islanders today if they pull out a miracle and beat the Lightning, and then they're second. So it's a very thin margin for error. And like losing a point like they did against Toronto the other day, that hurts. That's a point that they should have in the standings. They should be tied with the Islanders right now. So seeing them down, that really hurts. And they have a tough schedule the rest of the way too. So these Ersson starts, like if this dude does not shape up for the rest of this run, because they're going to need him. It's a lot of starts, too many for Vladar. I think you got to part ways.
Now we're about 3 starts away from Vladar tying his career high, I believe, and like
that makes me nervous.
Next week, like that's the next time we play Tampa, and then 2 more, where you're just looking and going, okay, and maybe they just push it and see how far they can go. I just don't want to get it to a point like we got to with Ersson a few years ago, where it was, well, only he can start. And, oh, look at that. He's worn down entirely, and the entire season is thrown down the tubes. Like, I don't want to get to that point, but I also just don't know what the Flyers' alternative is, because I'm not super interested in bringing Kolosov up. I kind of just want him to learn for a year after being the worst goalie in hockey a season ago. So
Agreed.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about some of these injuries. We got an update on the Flyers' 3 most recent injuries from the Flyers today. Jamie Drysdale has been placed on injured reserve, retroactive to January 6th when he got hurt against the Ducks. We have recalled defenseman Adam Yinning from the Phantoms. Seems like he's going to serve as the 7. Juleson is in the lineup today. And they say, additionally, forwards Bobby Brink and Travis Konechny are day-to-day with upper body injuries. They are both out today, but the hope is they are back sooner than later. So right now they're not on IR. And that leads us, Steve, to our lines at Morning Skate today. And I want to talk about this on the other side of the break. We have Dvorak, Michkov, Zegras, Coots, Barkey, Tippett, Cates, Grabenkin, Grunstrom, Abels, D'Lo, Hathaway, and then on D, York, Sanheim, Sealer, Risto, Andre, Juleson. I don't hate what they've done with 2 top 9 forwards out, plus obviously Tyson Forster's been out since December 1st. The defense is what it is. I would have liked to see maybe Ty Murchison get the call, but if it's not going to be that long, they want Murchison playing, have Yinning be the 7. I guess I can live with that. But it's this Michkov thing that we're going to talk about on the other side that I'm really, really excited about, Steve. All right, and with that, let's throw it to our commercial break. All right, it's time for me to tell you about Xfinity and the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. What if I could offer you reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? Well, that's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together and that fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Imagine Wi-Fi that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online and has all your devices working in perfect harmony. And imagine all that for 5 whole years. And the best part, there's no annual contract, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply. All right, it's time to talk about Elkin Chevrolet. Elkin Chevrolet is run by 3 brothers, real brothers, local guys, and yeah, big Flyers fans. And if you've been watching this season, you know what kind of hockey it's been. Nothing's easy, working hard for every inch of the ice, and that's how these guys run their dealership too, with hard work. And right now, Elkin Chevrolet has a big inventory of new Chevy trucks and SUVs, the stuff people around here actually drive, and they're priced to move. No games, no runaround. You come in, you get a straight answer, and you get a great price. Whether you're heading to the game, heading to work, or just trying to get home after a long day, they'll get you into the right ride at the right price. And this isn't a one and done place. These are the guys you go back to because they treat you right. Elkin Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honkin' good service. Located on Route 73 South in Marlton, Elkin Chevrolet. Together, let's drive and let's go Flyer. All right, it's time to talk about the Mad Russian himself. It's Matvei Michkov. Steve, I was not confident that it was going to be Michkov put in place of Travis Konechny on the Dvorak line with Trevor Zegras, and I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed that Rick Tocchet's going to do it, because it's not as if Mish has given the coach a ton of reason to be like, yes, you are going to play on the top line that we usually give 20 minutes a game to. He's got 1 goal and 9 assists in his last 17 games. The 1 goal was an empty netter. He has not scored against a goalie since November 29th, Steve. It is now January 10th. That's not great for a guy who's supposed to be an elite offensive talent.
No, and especially for a guy who was your leading goal scorer last season, like, you're struggling to score goals. Like, that's the guy you really need to step up and be the guy. I mean, for whatever reason, it has not clicked with Rick Tocchet, is not clicked with the team this year. I don't know if it's Mish. I don't know if it's Tocchet. I don't know if it's both. It probably is some sort of combination, but this sophomore slump is a big one, and it's super disappointing because we came in with such high expectations for Michkov, and to just see this, like, it's been a huge bummer. I think it's been the biggest bummer of the season by far.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited, though, to see him with some bigger talent today. Tocchet has not trusted him much. He hasn't gotten a ton of minutes. He hasn't gotten a lot of time with the better offensive players. So I'm really hoping that I think Christian Dvorak has been really good at being the responsible guy in the middle for Trevor Zegras and whoever he might be playing with. I was just talking about this yesterday on a different podcast where I was talking about how Travis Konechny has played really well with that line since he's gone over. He started with that line on December 3rd when Tyson Forrester went down. And I think he had like 9 goals since then or something like that. So, Konechny really has gotten to shoot more and gotten more opportunities playing with those two. So my hope is that Michkov can have a similar effect today.
Yeah, and listen, we've seen him step up in certain cases before. Right now, Daily Faceoff has Andrei Vasilevsky as unconfirmed. Obviously, Kucherov on the other side. Guys who, in a different world, he would be teaming with in a few weeks at the Olympics. But they are absolutely legends of Russian hockey, of this generation of Russian hockey. I would like to see him step up against them today, Steve. You did just classify it as a sophomore slump. I was talking to Kelly about this on postgame after the Toronto game. Are the intrusive thoughts starting to creep in for you? Because I am just chalking this up as 20-year-old kid, didn't have a great summer, and that's just kind of carried over. Now he's being coached differently than he ever has before. And it's just kind of a confluence of events that have come together, some in his control, some out of his control, that are resulting in what is a bad season, but it's not really affecting what I think he's going to be long term. Hopefully
Yeah.
long term begins next season. I don't really want to do multiple years of this, but well,
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with
great.
you, Bill, where I think this is truly a sophomore slump where he did not do the right things in the offseason, and he's paying for it now. I think he's definitely paying for it now. And I think the difference in coaching is really throwing this young guy through a loop because he's real young. Like, people go so hard. Like, I hear people talking about what Jet Luchenko is going to be. I'm like, he's 19 years old. Like, I have no idea what he's going to look like in like 4 years when he's a grown man. And the same thing holds true for Matvei Michkov. He had a great rookie season, unbelievable rookie season, but he's having a true sophomore slump. I would really like to see playing with the Flyers top line have an effect on him. I do have the numbers that I brought up on Flight yesterday where 9 goals, 9 assists for Travis Konecny since he started playing with Dvorak and Zegras. Before joining the line, he had 5 goals and 15 assists. So clearly a lot more goal scoring, and he's getting almost another shot a game playing with those two. So if Michkov can get some more shots and get some more room to work, some more opportunities, I really feel like maybe we could see something going. And Zegras opens that up because people flock to Zegras because he is so dangerous with the puck.
And having someone creative like Zegras, to me, takes away a little bit of the whatever it is he might be losing playing the left side. I do think he's been a more responsible, steady player on the left side. That said, he's got 1 goal since November, and it's on an empty net. I saw someone on Twitter, I don't remember who, put the stats up. His shooting percentage coming in on goalies from the left versus the right is like 10% higher almost. It's like double or something.
That's wild.
He's just a better finisher, left shot on the right side. You just have more options. Left shot on the left side, there's only so much you can do. It's harder to be deceptive. I get that. But I think playing with someone creative like Zegras, it's not going to be 2 wingers like in train tracks, basically like you're over here and I'm over here and these are the sides we play. Like, there will just be able to be a little bit more movement, a little bit more creativity, and I think that'll help them both. And when I'm talking about the power play, Matvei Michkov 1 power play goal this season, game-tying goal versus Edmonton November 12th. Man, I don't want to put it all on one guy. I think there's a lot of issues. I think coaching's an issue. I think the personnel just like not having confidence or creativity or whatever is huge. But like, man, you tied for the team lead with 17 power play points last year. I think he had 8 or 9 power play goals.
8, yeah.
He's on pace for 2. Like, that's not enough.
Right. That's not enough. And I put a lot of that on the coach. Like, the coach has to figure this out. And I feel like Rick Tocchet, I think Rick Tockett's been great. Rick Tocchet's done a lot of things really well for this team. There's a reason this team is in the position they're in, and we're talking about a potential playoff run for this team. But he has not figured out Matvei Michkov, and he has not, I think, gone to Matvei Michkov's strengths. And that's a problem. And I think that's something they have to work out. And maybe, just maybe, today is the start of something positive in regards to that.
I would really, really like that to be the case, Steve. All right, let's talk about these Tampa Bay Lightning real quick. 10 Olympians on the Tampa Bay roster. That is just in the NHL. They also have an AHL guy going for like Latvia, I believe. Jon Cooper is the coach of Team Canada. Some of the staff is coming with him. And I think this is the year. I think this is the year he finally gets the Jack Adams, Steve. This team started 1-4-2. It was like, oh man, it might really be over for Tampa. Like, it's finally ending. Their reign of terror. They're 25-9-1 since. They've won 8 straight, including their last game where they handed Colorado their 4th regulation loss of the season. This is their second 7+ game winning streak of the year. Kucherov and Brandon Hagel each have 20 goals. Gensel has 19. They've done all of this without Victor Hedman. He hasn't played since December 9th. Ryan McDonough has been out for a while. They just keep finding ways to win, even as this team ages, even as they've had to replace pieces in their depth. They just keep getting it done, and they are, in my mind, absolutely the class of the Eastern Conference.
And fun fact on that is Kucherov is the only one in the top 10 from the East as far as points go. Kucherov is just having an unbelievable year. He is currently sitting at 4th with 61 points in 38 games played. Is that good? And, behind Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, and Nathan McKinnon. And he's tied with Leon Draisaitl. So, just like a throwback year for Kucherov. He just keeps on going. This team is really good. And the fact that they're doing it without Hedman is scary because Hedman continues to be one of the best, most reliable defensemen in the NHL.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will see how this goes today. I've been a lot more confident going into other games this season, Steve. That's what I will say about the pending result of Flyers Lightning today is that, man, they are, I believe, the best team in the East by far. And the Flyers are missing 3 top 9 wingers and a top 4 defenseman.
That's all. And the backup goaltender starting.
Yeah, and they have Ersson starting, whose save percentage would be 12th in the league in 1985. It's truly unbelievable how bad he is. The Flyers if they are going to have a prayer of eking out even 1 point in this game, someone very badly has to step up and outperform expectations. And that brings us to the Bet365 pregame picks. Sign up for Bet365 and use code PHLY365 to deposit $10 and then place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Must be 21 plus an NPA. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So only one bet today, Steve. I initially was hoping to get a Travis Konechny anytime goal in there at plus 210. My whole thing was like, I don't think it's going to be that bad. He scored a goal. He got hurt well before that, apparently, and he's day-to-day. Maybe he'll play, and also he's up against Jon Cooper. You know what Travis Konechny didn't do? Make Jon Cooper's Olympic team. Maybe he wanted to show him what was up, and he's been hot lately, but we don't have that. So I'm going with Matvei Michkov being the guy who steps up. Plus 300. We're looking at 3-1 for a Michkov goal, which is the longest odds I've seen for him in a while. It looks like the Bucks are catching up to the kind of season he's having. I said someone needs to step up. That line of Dvorak and Zegras has really been performing. We saw the type of impact it had on Travis Konechny's season. I want to see Mish step up tonight. I think this is his opportunity to maybe start turning his season around a bit, or at least find ways to contribute when we know at the end of the year the numbers ain't going to look good either way. And I like that Ethan got a bet in here. He's taking the Flyers to win at plus 150. They're only 150 underdogs. I guess they're home, but man, that's a bold bet there. That's a bold bet there, Ethan. We'll see how that goes. How you feeling about these, Steve?
You got to live Moss, Bill. You got to live Moss. You got to go big or go home. And I love the Michkov one. As I was saying before, Konechny I think Tippett and Konechny both had positive results playing with Christian Dvorak and Trevor Zegras. So I think it's Matvei Michkov's turn. Maybe they're just like the guys who get you going if you need to get going. I don't know. I see Konechny averaging an extra shot a game. I see him scoring significantly more goals playing with those guys. And I think if anybody's going to get Matvei Michkov going this season, it is Dvorak and Zegras, who have just been dynamite together.
Yeah, that's the hope is they can get him going, and then maybe once TK comes back, if this is just a game or two and he's back on that line, maybe he can take that confidence back to playing with Cates, or maybe he stays there. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I just want to see something out of Mish, and I'm going to bet on it. I am going to bet he steps up at least for today. All right, before we get out of here, got to tell you about one thing. It's our Die Hard program. If you've always wanted to be a Die Hard, now is your chance. The Eagles are in the playoffs. The Flyers have started the second half of the season. All sorts of Phillies rumors going on. The Sixers, they seem like a lot more fun than I think anyone suspected they could be. If you want to get the best coverage in the world of all your favorite Philly teams, you got to become a diehard at allphly.com. And there's no better time than now, because right now you can get in for just $36 for the year. That's right. All the advantages of being a diehard. Access to the Discord, access to the premium content, discount on merchant events, a free shirt, And it's all for the low, low price of $36 for the year.
An Emil Andre amount of money.
An Emil Andre amount of money. All right, that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. We will be back as soon as this thing goes live with postgame. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast wherever you get those. I am Bill Matz. That is Steve Jaco. I always forget which way to point, so I just point at the screen now. That is Steve Jaco. Thank you very much to Ethan for stepping in and producing today. Till postgame, let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.